And now the top story of this week, really
The
bearing the
extreme
lead
told you
here.
so.
Yeah. Um, R. Kelly has been found very guilty in his federal sex trafficking trial and faces decades in a federal clink.
Good.
Very good.
Good.
This is a long time
Very good.
coming. People were saying people were ridiculous, and because they were not to skip ahead because we'll talk about like the details of this. Well, actually, no, I don't have that story in here, but like there's one point where you had people who were protesting outside of the courtroom while R. Kelly's trial was happening, and they were saying, "Wow, the Boondocks predicted the future," and I'm like, "No, the Boondocks documented the past. R. Kelly has been
This already
through."
happened.
Yes, this already happened to a T, except the only difference was R. Kelly was let off because of for a large reason, because of the public pressures of the time. Less of an interest and compassion around like the seriousness surrounding sexual violence and a celebration of celebrities, oftentimes in music, who are able to use sort of their status to get around like scrutiny they would otherwise get for these things. The fact that you would have R. Kelly's and you would have his fans like outside of the courtroom saying he's innocent, guaranteeing his innocence. People sending him money as he was in jail who were his fans, like to make sure his commissary was good. And so even that money started running out. Even as you had allegations of women who were above the age of 18 who were apparently held against their will by R. Kelly, people who are under the age of 18, women who are under the age of 18 who are coerced to do things, men who are under the age of 18 who are coerced to do things by R. Kelly. I mean, the cases just kept
It just
piling like
keeps
up
going
and
on and
up and
on.
up. It's like as you were going into it, the charges which included one count of racketeering rooted in alleged sexual exploitation of children, kidnapping, and forced labor, 8 counts of violating the Mann Act, which criminalizes transporting someone across state lines with the intent of prostitution or sexual activity. Um, it's all these different things that the judge has now charged him with, and people kn- knew about these allegations and things, and people in Chicago, like in the Chicago area where R.
Mhm.
Kelly was, this was sort of like a well-known secret. Like people in Chicago, I was there recently, and people truly of a certain age, everyone has R. Kelly stories. Like of just seeing him around, just seeing sketchy things because it just like was a man about town at that time, and it was very well known what he was doing. And so, nevertheless, you had an entire culture that was protecting him, and this is a good moment for the people he was victimizing. Nevertheless,
And
go on.
then Bill Cosby had to open up his damn fucking mouth.
S- Why did Bill?
Why isn't Bill in?
Clearly, Bill Cosby hasn't. He's been
Take
getting.
that as you will.
Clearly, Bill Cosby's food has been getting. His food's been getting a little too good in commissary. He's been enjoying a little bit too much there, because he needs to. Well, let's explain what he did. Bill Cosby disagrees very much with the um result of the R. Kelly trial, saying that Bill Cosby was saying that R. Kelly was, quote, railroaded in federal court. Not to be graphic, not to be glib or even ironic, but if I were talking about this case, I wouldn't use the slang term railroaded. If I were Bill Cosby talking about this case, I would not use the term railroaded. It just
Because yeah, yeah. What? God, that what?
when it
Why
comes to these
do?
kinds of things that R. Kelly's being accused of, Bill Cosby's an Olympian.
Jesus Christ!
We're gonna see him at SoFi Stadium soon in 2028, just like
He's gonna be older than George.
passing it to R. Kelly, passing it to never mind. Imagine them using like they dig up the chords of XXXTentacion and like parade it around the streets of Compton, going up Vernon and Figueroa as they carry the torch
Is the
all the way
torch
to
a
Inglewood.
fork?
And all, lastly, before we end the R. Kelly section of this fine tooth comb, um,
Please.
By the way, Sean, you lost.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I definitely lost on that one.
but, R. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at some point had given R. Kelly a key to the city, and they decided that this was a good week to rescind that. Fair.
Okay. Fair balance and unafraid.
Oh, man.